So I just wanted to share my experience of working with Bo. I've worked with Bo over probably about 2 years. I wasn't new to non-duality at that point. I'd been listening to videos, um, been in a couple of retreats before that, spiritual retreats, and then got into non-duality. No idea how, but I did. And it just resonated. There's the whole message about non-duality just resonated. Had lots of questions, deep life questions as a child, but no one really to talk to about them. But so when I came across Bo speaking, actually, I heard him speak on Sunday satsang, and we spoke afterwards, and I just resonated a lot with his energy. It's just pure resonance, and I just understood what he was talking about. It was like, he was saying things, and I just understood. I knew deep down, even though I couldn't probably relate the same point, but his point is definitely related to the experience here. And what I loved is the simplicity. There's a real simplicity in the way that Bo points to particular aspects of our experience. And so I can go with kind of layman's terms and ask, a particular question about something that might have happened in my life. And what's really helpful is to be met. I think that was the thing. It's being met with where I am. And if I look back over the 2 years ago, I was probably asking very, intellectual, what about this? Why that? Whereas now it's much more about it's just getting into the experience, really, really slowing down and looking at the experience of what's going on here right now. And really taking that into everyday life. Not that it's not there already, but really just much more conscious awareness of everyday life and the tasks that need to be done. So I didn't need to go and sit in a mountain anywhere quietly and do this on my own. The support that I've had from Bo has been phenomenal. I've been through quite a few things over the last 3 years of sobriety, and it's been really helpful to have somebody to speak to on the non-duality path as well as the recovery path. That's quite rare. I haven't, I've come across a couple of teachers, but this was very accessible, really accessible, made a lot of sense. I think Bo has a really beautiful way of really listening to what's going on, and a very, very perceptive, like, even though the words may not come out, it's very perceptive that there might be something else there that might need to be looked at. There is absolutely no judgment or baggage of any kind that comes into the room that is from anybody else. This is all about the spaciousness that is right now and experiencing that power. I'm not talking about my power. I'm talking about, there's this, we do the sense of being, and it's just become more and more powerful, actually experiencing that life force. And I suppose in everyday life is just much more conscious of that life force, but also there's a little, Bo calls it an alarm clock. So when maybe a pattern arises, or I don't know, some contraction, I suppose, happens, there's a little something that rings inside that says maybe this could be done differently. And again, just regular work with Bo's meant I can bring a lot more, I suppose, shadows or things that were invisible to me, things that I wouldn't have been able to see on my own, a lot more things to the forefront that could be looked at. And what amazes me every single time, something that's, maybe a very, very difficult topic or subject or difficulty that's going on, is to be able to see it in the light and to see the compassion, have love and compassion exposed with the clearing of the negative, doubting, heavy, jail-like concepts and thoughts. And it's magical. I don't know how else to describe it, to actually, have a 180-degree turnaround in these sessions has just been phenomenal. And these have been big life situations, but also the small things. Sometimes it might just be something small, and each time that happens, there's more faith, I suppose, grows, and more conviction. And I think more recently, I would say I've been able to do a lot of that work on my own, probably more than and probably quicker than I would have been able to do, maybe just listening to videos or going to groups. Just that one-on-one specific work around areas that I'm just not seeing something has been absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's just that I suppose you call it spiritual growth, the ability to look inside. Yeah, what do you say? It's just, this is so powerful. And I think the other recent thing that's dropped from the head down into absolutely knowing that this is the same for everybody else. So when you're interacting with people or others, that sense of a separate person, there's just less and less belief in that. You just realize that you're talking to somebody, you're talking to another version of yourself. It's a different expression, and that's freedom in itself too, because all the things, self-help tries to do, we must, write gratitude lists, so we are grateful, that we must be compassionate, we must have, faith, all of that just comes naturally. It's not a doing at all. There's nobody to do any of that. The gratitude just comes forth, the compassion, for people and situations that you would never have imagined. Yeah,